I'm Inada with IDEP. Now, let me share with you the policy development in Kanagawa Prefecture. In my report, as shown here, these are the organizations or the individuals that was involved in the discussions as well as the implementations. And my report will contain the excerpt of these discussions. These are the venues of the Climate Citizens Assembly in Kanagawa. Now, there is a Decarbonations Kawasaki Citizens Assembly, which took place in 2021, and in 2023, Atsugi City and Populations Kanagawa Climate Citizens Assembly, Azushi Hayama also held the assembly, and also Aoba is holding the assembly. They had the third sessions, and also by May, they will be holding the fifth session. Later on, I will come back to talk about this point. Let me briefly talk about the Kawasaki Citizens Assembly, focusing on the numbers. This was the second city, and 5 people participated, and 7 people were in executive committee, and there were several grants funds that was utilized as well as the research funds. And IDEP was also involved. I was not the director, and also Kawasaki's center to stop global warming was also involved. Even though the Kawasaki City was involved, but this was led by the private sector. And 7 items was summarized based upon the citizens' proposal. And for this was addressed alongside with the policy of formulation. And also, the proposal was submitted to the city council. 5 online meetings was held, 1 face-to-face meeting was held, and also there were different themes addressed, and general discussions were held. And after the discussion, platform was established along with working on the public relations evaluation. So these are the 3 things that was addressed. Next, for each localities, you will hear the different vote and presentations to be delivered. In 2023, the 3 assemblies of background is next topic that I would like to address. These 3 was held as a Kanagawa prefectural project, outsourcing actions of decarbonization awareness and permeations of the young people and local communities. So under this project, there were 3 assemblies held. It's the decarbonization strategy headquarters and office of the prefectural government, and I just and IDEP were the co-hosting the event. And the purpose is, as written, strengthening the awareness and permeations of the concerning decarbonization led by the young people. And also this shall lead to the behavioral change in decarbonizations. And there were 3 main pillars. Well, first of all, decarbonization education for the high school students, as also the workshop for university students and young working adults, as well as planning and operations of the regional workshop for regional decarbonization. But I would like to focus on is that the planning and operations of the regional workshop. The objective here is that many different people shall participate and hold a workshop, so many people will be able to participate along with the collaborations with the local communities, and this shall be the sustainable program. Now, as part of this program, Zushi, Hayama, as well as Yokohama, Aoba, Atsugi, they've been providing support at the Atsugi. It was also holding the assembly as well. So 3 regions did hold the assemblies. And now there are some unique characteristics of this workshop. We took the Climate Citizens Assembly a format so that the deliberations can take place among the citizens. Next, as for rolling out of these assemblies, first, Kawasaki Citizens Assembly. This was the second of its kind in Japan, and this was private sector led, and also Kawasaki's policy formulation should reflect the opinions of the public. So that was the objective of holding the assembly. And also the operators, the organizers, wanted to further cultivate Japan versions of the climate assembly. So this can be a good model for subsequent assemblies to be held in Japan, there were so many people participated after the meeting. Some volunteers follow up on the citizens' proposals utilizing the platform, and utilizing the platform activities is underway to continue with the decarbonization effort. And I mentioned some of the three local government assemblies. To assume of the business planning of the Kanagawa prefecture, it was understood that the awareness and behavior regarding decarbonization has not been penetrated in the local community. We have to create the venue with the participations of the local citizens. We believe that will be a very important step for decarbonization effort. And through the planning, the three local government have came up with this very practical workshop. Therefore, this is the unique characteristic of that. What the Kanagawa prefecture is aiming at is not just the climate assembly, depending on the need, depending on the circumstances, various challenges need to be addressed. In order to provide the forum as a policy package, the prefecture is aiming to implement this on a sustainable basis. Now, by holding multiple climate citizens assemblies, what we can expect for this further spread, Kanagawa Prefecture holding the several assemblies for one thing, Kanagawa Prefecture uh, is encouraging the decarbonization efforts to be made on a wide basis, and also through information collections as well as provisions of the information. In the local governments, people have identified the new pieces of information as well as there are some unique local informations or identifications of the local expert. And we have promoted those information collections. In other words, we now have a stronger local community involvement, and so also by having the multiple assemblies at the different locations before the meeting, during the meeting, after the meeting, there was a very active exchange of information sharing of the lessons, sharing of the challenges, and people get together to exchange opinions that continued even after the assembly. The climate citizens assemblies is the venue to deliberate, taking the form of the mini publics, and also to publicize what they have discussed. That was what is aiming at. However, uh, the participants deepen the interest in the decarbonization, and also they may not be a part of the local activities in the past. However, if they become more active, then we will be able to further expand this movement and involve a larger amount of people. And these are the summary of meetings ended by FY 2023, and this is just observed. Questions is, do you think it was meaningful to participate at the citizen assembly? Kawasaki, Atsuki, Zushi, vast majority of the people, namely, and 90% said that they either strongly agree or agree. Would you like to participate in activities aimed at achieve the initiatives proposed by the city proposal is the next question. About 50% to 70% responded affirmatively. Those participated in the assembly, not just the participations, but after the assembly, they are more than willing to participate in the subsequent event. And quite a large numbers of the people was willing to participate based on these points. This slide, well, first of all, please focus on this yellow box. What is the outcome of Japan's Climate Citizens Assembly? Well, first of all, the policies of the local communities or the impact to the democracy may be the outcome. The citizens will take the lead and reflect their voices to the policies, and also the citizens as a sovereign being hold their own opinions and voices. Not just that, however, there is a direct and indirect effect on the decarbonization effort as citizens, as a consumer, work toward the decarbonization as the stakeholders and to engage in decarbonization activities, and citizens as consumers and collaborate within and across local government regions for decarbonization. These are the good outcomes that we been seeing, and these will be the outcomes that we can expect in the future. The city of Kawasaki initially number one, against the citizen policy to reflect the voices of the citizens. That was the primary objective. And then, after completing the assembly, to continue this movement, in order to do that as a platform, they established a platform and started addressing this item too. But Kanagawa Prefecture, the three local government assemblies, of they initially aimed for item two as a part of the prefectural government to further widen the scope of the participants. And so the individuals started to change, which shall lead to item one. And that is what we've been witnessing. And also that is an expectation. And this is a very brief summary. Kanagawa Prefecture's on policy with regard to decarbonization related policies is done at the prefectural level, but this is the first attempt on, at least within Japan. In other words, this is a deliberation related, the first of its attempt at the prefectural level. And this is positions within the framework of decarbonization and trying to further promote. And for that purpose, this was the first very challenging attempt done at the prefectural level. Yagista-san said those words. So this is such a challenging attempt. Now, in the climate change countermeasures, the local government initiative is very important. They were very active, holding events, assemblies at different locations. All these are good fora that we can learn a lot from. I'm glad to see a very active deliberation taking place because it's such a good thing. But uh, climate change is not happening in a certain area, certain sector. So broader cooperations and collaborations is also necessary. Therefore, the venue of the decarbonization should further expand, not just to cover the specific area. And Kanagawa Prefecture's attempt can be seen as the new initiative. Now, I talked about the three assemblies of the three local government, not just to reflect the voices and of the citizens, but through their participation, they now have a sense of ownership. And within the community, they it can act as a new leader in promoting decarbonizations in their respective local communities. At least that is the expectation. Back in 2021, when Kawasaki held the first assembly, and there were subsequent assembly being held, not just in Kanagawa Prefecture, but I'm sure that other prefectures, other localities place emphasis on this particular aspect of bringing and fostering the new leaders. So this is leading to the good future of Japan's climate assemblies. I shared with you of the cases from Kanagawa Prefecture. This concludes my presentation. Thank you very much for your kind attention.